Welcome to CEO.CA, the leading community for investors in junior resource and venture stocks. My name is Amrit Gill, and joining us today is Luke Alexander, President, CEO, and Director of Newcore Gold. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How are you finding the conference so far?
Well, it's been very busy and we've got a decent gold price, so that's always a good start to a conference. I mean, we kind of have a combination of one-on-one meetings, we have a booth and seeing lots of people, so nice to see some good positive vibes from the conference so far.
So do tell our viewers a little bit about the company.
Yeah, so Newcore Gold, we're advancing the Enchi project in Ghana. It's a district-scale exploration project that's fundamentally underpinned by very robust economics that we put out in a 2021 PEA. We're in the process of updating that PEA. It does include a larger overall resource, so that'll further strengthen the overall project. And then Ghana, it's a tier 1 jurisdiction to be operating in. You've got 3 of the top 10 largest gold producers. So a district scale exploration project that's at a development stage that's in a tier 1 jurisdiction.
Well, tell us about some of the key achievements at Enchi as well, and the group's prior successes and what you joined in as CEO and why.
Yeah. So in the last 3 years, we've invested about $40 million into the project. We've drilled a total of 95,000 meters across the project. That's the largest ever drill program that's been completed at Enchi. We've put out 3 resource updates, continued to grow the overall size of the resource. We also de-risked the ounces in the ground by moving 740,000 ounces into the indicated category, another 970,000 ounces in the inferred category. And all of that work is getting incorporated into an updated PEA, which will come out in the first half of this year.
And Ghana is Africa's top gold producer. Elaborate on some of the jurisdictional opportunities and risks that come with operating in that region.
Yeah, so Ghana's Africa's largest gold producer. It's the 6th largest gold producer globally, just behind the United States. So it's got a true culture of mining in country. It's got a couple of mining universities. The government's very supportive of advancing projects in country. It's important for the tax base. It's important for the economy. It's important for jobs. So us as a development stage company who's pushing our Enchi project towards a construction and production decision, we're able to leverage off of all of that expertise in country, as well as all of that support that there is from a government perspective. So it's a great place to be operating. But what we always say is, at the end of the day, we're a single asset company with one project in Ghana, so we're completely biased. But what we highlight to people is Ghana has 3 of the top 10 largest gold producers on the planet operating in country with significant operations there. You've got Newmont, who's the largest gold producer, and if you follow Newmont, you'll know that they're in the process of investing another $1 billion into Ghana. That will take them, their Ahafo project, which is along the Sefwi-Bibiani belt from us, to over 1 million ounces a year of production. And within their tier 1 managed portfolio, it will be the largest single asset for them. So I think that really highlights what a great jurisdiction it is when you have the largest gold company on the planet operating there. For us, we were able to amass a very large land package in the country, which we have been de-risking, and we're now at a point of being able to move that towards a construction decision.
And Luke, tell us what sets Newcore apart from competition.
So I'd say a few things. One, jurisdiction, which I think we've covered in terms of Ghana being a great place to operate. District scale exploration would be another key thing. If you look at our Enchi project and you look at the Sefwi-Bibiani belt, which is one of 2 prolific gold belts in the country, 200 million ounces historically discovered in Ghana. We have a number of multi-million, 5 million ounce plus deposits along trend from us. 40 kilometers to the north, you've got the Chirano mine. That's got a historical endowment of 5.5 million ounces. Bibiani at 6.5 million ounces just to the north of that. And then that Ahafo mine that Newmont owns, which sits at 20 million ounces. So it is a a belt that has very large deposits. We've really just scratched the surface to date. The average vertical depth of the pits on our property today is only down to 80 meters. So it's really an opportunity for us to continue to explore. The deposits remain open along strike as well as at depth. So that's one thing that sets it apart, is the opportunity for true district scale exploration. But then the company and the capital structure, I think, is another key element. If you look at our at our capital structure, we're listed on the TSX as well as the OTC, so trade on both of those markets. We've got about 173 million shares outstanding, so a good tight capital structure. And importantly, management and board, we own about 20% of the business, so we're truly aligned with shareholders through that ownership in the company. As well as over the last few years, we've grown our institutional ownership from 0 to roughly 45% today. Those are primarily institutional investors who are focused on the mining and gold sector, who recognize that district scale exploration upside that's fundamentally underpinned by a very robust project that we can bring into production today. So tier 1 jurisdiction, a great asset, and then a very good capital structure that's supported by institutional investors as well as management who has significant skin in the game.
What has the focus been on at Enchi in the past year?
In the past year, a couple of things. We've been really de-risking the project towards that construction decision. This is a very simple open pit heap leach project. In terms of our 2021 PEA, the three key numbers would be $100 million of capex for 100,000 ounces of production for an after-tax NPV of $300 million at an $1,850 gold price. So those are very attractive economics for a gold project. So we've been focused on de-risking that project towards a production decision. So we've been doing a tremendous amount of met work. To date, we've completed 20 column tests on the project. We've completed 2 bulk pilot tests on the project, and we're averaging 91-92% recoveries from all of that work that we've been doing. So the project really lends itself to a very robust heap leach project. We've also last week announced that we've completed our social and environmental baseline study. This is one of the key things that's required to move towards applying for a mining lease. We've been completing condemnation drilling across where the pad will go for the heap leach facility, as well as a lot of hydrological and geotech work across the project. So all of these things may not be as exciting for the market, but they're crucial to take a project to construction. And they're also very important for strategic investors who may be looking at our project as well.
It sounds like the PEA is a near-term catalyst. Can you elaborate on what investors can expect when it comes to the next updates?
Yeah, so I've highlighted, and talked a little bit about the PEA already. So those three numbers, 100,000 ounces of production, 100 million of capex for an after-tax NPV of 300 million at 1850 gold. So that was our 2021 PEA. Since then, we've obviously completed a tremendous amount of drilling. We've grown the overall size of our resource. We've moved a number of ounces into the indicated category, so we further de-risked that by having tighter drill spacing for those ounces. So the updated PEA that we're going to get out in the first half of this year, it's going to incorporate a larger overall resource. So we'd expect the overall project to increase in size, so a slightly larger production profile for the project. But we would then also, expect a number of those things we've been doing from a de-risking perspective to also give the market a lot more confidence in the PEA that we're releasing. So all that stuff I've been talking about in terms of network and environmental social baseline, all of that will get incorporated into the PEA. So it'll be a much more robust overall economic study that we're putting out, and something that we see as being a real catalyst for the company.
What have been some of the key successes for Newcore team before you joined in as CEO?
Yeah, so the team involved in Newcore has had a number of successes in the past. My background is I spent the first 15 years of my career on the investment banking side of the business, spent 12 years in London covering all the big global natural resource funds out of the UK and Europe, advising different ASX, TSX, London-listed companies on different mining transactions around the world. That's where I got to know the bulk of the team involved here. Doug Forrester, our chairman, Blaine Johnson, they were co-founders of Newmarket Gold. While I was in London, worked very closely with them. That was a company that went from a $10 million market cap to a $1.4 billion sale. Helped work with them on that company. Caliber Mining would be another big success story. It was about a $40 million company, vended in the B2 gold assets in Nicaragua. And if you follow that company, you'll see that they've recently acquired the Marathon project in Newfoundland, and they're en route to becoming a 500,000 ounce producer and over $1 billion market cap today. So those are some of the companies that the team has been involved in. Big part of my motivation for getting involved was I saw the Enchi project as a very simple open pit heap leach project with true district scale exploration upside. So it's a project that a company like ours can build and can actually finance the building of, but also has the huge torque that you get with exploration. So the combination of those two things were the big motivation for me to join as CEO, and we're very fortunate to have been able to put a very good team around the project. So Greg Smith, our VP Exploration, and Mal Carvasca, our VP of Corp Dev and Biz Dev, they both joined at the same time as me. So we really pulled the whole team together. And in the last 3 years, we've completed more work on the project than the 20 years prior.
And to summarize, what would you like the key takeaway to be for our viewers at CEO.CA?
Yeah, so Newcore Gold, backed by a management team who is truly aligned with shareholders through our equity ownership in the business, very good capital structure, good institutional investors who see the district scale exploration upside potential, but also the fact that we have a very buildable project today. We've got a good cash position, so we're able to complete all of the work that we've got in front of us for the next 12 months, which in this market is important. And, for investors who are looking at Newcore today, it's a very exciting opportunity because we have sold off the way the rest of the market, or along with the rest of the exploration market. So we're trading at about $7 per ounce in the ground today. Those are for fully de-risked ounces that have had pits wrapped around them and have economic studies attached to those ounces, as well as we're trading at about 0.05 the NPV of the project. So those are very attractive metrics for investors to be looking at it today.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.